The Wolf on the Road. Chapter 1. The Beginning of the Curse. James Dalton had always found solace in the open road, especially after the loss of his wife, Margaret. The endless stretches of asphalt beneath the wheels of his Peterbilt 359 gave him something to focus on, something to drown out the silence that now filled his life. Margaret had been his anchor, and without her, his world had turned cold, the warmth of their small Texas home fading with each passing mile. It was late fall when things took a darker turn. James had been driving through the remote backroads of New Mexico, where the towns were nothing more than faint flickers of neon in the distance, swallowed by vast stretches of desert. The night was unusually thick with fog, rolling over the highway like a blanket of smoke. His headlights barely pierced through it, creating an eerie glow that seemed to press in on him from all sides. As the hours stretched on, James felt a strange sensation crawling up his spine, a kind of heaviness in the air, as if something unseen was watching him from the shadows. It was the kind of feeling that made you check your mirrors too often, as if expecting something to appear just outside the range of vision. Then, as if out of nowhere, the radio crackled to life. Static hissed through the speakers, the soft murmur of voices too distorted to make out. He tried changing the station, but the noise persisted, like something wanted to break through. That's when he saw it, the exit sign for a town he hadn't seen on the map. Black Hollow, 3 miles. A chill ran through James. There was something off about the sign, the letters faded and peeling, as if they hadn't been touched in decades. He slowed the truck, hesitating. Part of him wanted to keep driving, to get as far away from this place as possible. But the pull was undeniable. His hands moved on their own, turning the wheel toward the exit, as if guided by an unseen force. The fog thickened as he left the main highway, winding down a narrow, cracked road that seemed to go nowhere. The radio still hummed with static, louder now, but underneath it, James thought he could hear something, a low growl, barely audible, but it was there. He turned the radio off, gripping the steering wheel tighter as the truck's tires crunched over the gravel road. That's when the fog parted. There, standing in the middle of the road, was something out of a nightmare. At first, James thought it was just an animal, a large, hulking figure hunched over something on the ground. But as his headlights swept over it, he saw that it was far worse. The creature was massive, its fur matted and streaked with grime. It wasn't quite a wolf, but not entirely human either. Its limbs were too long, its back twisted at unnatural angles, and its glowing yellow eyes locked onto James's truck with an almost predatory gleam. James slammed the brakes, the truck screeching to a halt just feet away from the creature. For a moment, they stared at each other, a cold silence falling over the night. Then, without warning, the beast let out a blood-chilling roar and lunged at the truck. Heart racing, James threw the truck into reverse, the engine roaring as he sped backward down the road. His pulse hammered in his ears, the beast's growls echoing around him. But no matter how fast he went, it was always there, just out of sight, like a shadow moving in the periphery. The fog seemed to swallow the sound of his engine, leaving only the heavy thud of his heartbeat and the rhythmic growling that seemed to come from everywhere at once. As he backed down the narrow road, something primal tugged at the edges of his mind. The creature wasn't just chasing him, it was hunting him. And somehow, in his gut, James knew this wasn't the first time the beast had done so. Continues in the next chapter.